So I do my best to be positive, glass half full type of person here on the internet, be smiley, be my full, energetic, natural self, my extroverted self. But today is a little different. I get some things off my chest. So let's get into this too. Hello beautiful people, my name is Savannah, but on the internet I go by Savvy C, and welcome back to Savvy C Scoop. I created this channel to just document my 20s living in Paris. I'm here getting my master's in global communications at the American University of Paris, which I decided to do in the middle of a pandemic, and I knew full well that there would be the good, the bad, and the ugly of anything, of any move, any new journey, any new chapter of my life. And I was thinking of how can I share the not so good parts, because I've been focused on the positive, but not so good parts about my experience at AUP so far. I'm in my second semester here, 5 months into living in Paris, and I got this comments under my job interview from Camille Flores. Hey girl, hey! Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, forgive me. And she said, do you regret going during a pandemic? And can you do a video speaking about your thoughts so far about AUP? So to answer your question quick off the bat, no, I do not regret going to AUP, moving to Paris in the middle of a pandemic, but there are 8 things that I wish I knew before coming to AUP and coming to the school AUP, moving to Paris in the middle of a pandemic. And here we go. Here are those 8 things. So number 1, AUP is a new school, and I quite literally mean a new school. Next year will mark 60 years of AUP being in existence. It started back in 1962, which is, in history time, especially in Paris time, that is like a baby, right? And so with AUP being a new school, being only 60 years in existence, there has been, such great legacy, and this, it's cool of what's been able to happen with the school in such a short period of time, but also a lot of things aren't developed or just simply don't exist because it's such a new school. My undergrad institution, to give you a comparison, that I went to before coming here for grad school, started in 1845, right? So a solid century ahead of the game of being able to develop things, have students come with ideas, programs, degrees, clubs, whatever being accessible, being available. So at times it can be frustrating that things aren't in existence or haven't been created yet because the school is so new. But it can offer a unique opportunity for you, or for me, whoever, to create said new thing. Number 2, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know. Whew! I think this applies to both, American-based institutions for undergrad or grad schools, as well as, abroad. But you really have to, if you want to know something, you have to beat the bush, ask everyone, closed mouths do not get fed. And that is particularly true at AUP. Through the onboarding process, or not onboarding, that's for a job. I don't know what's it called, the orientation process, that's the word. Orientation process, I was getting help, I was getting a lot of information. But once I physically got here and classes were about to start, it was kind of good luck, Chuck, you're a grad student, you grown now, figure it out type thing. So for that, it was just kind of frustrating of things like banking, or getting my Wi-Fi set up, or when lockdown hit in November, there's just certain things I just wish that I was given help on, and I just had to ask around, look on Facebook groups, be in, WhatsApp groups, or just ask people and think I was in the right place at the right time. But it's just really frustrating and annoying that the school either didn't know the answer or just worse than just tell us. So just keep that in mind if you're applying here, you want to come here, you have to just, beat around the bush, ask questions, closed mouths do not get fed. Number 3. So where's this diversity that everyone's talking about on the internet? So I knew AUP was the PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, for those who are not familiar. I went to one for undergrad, and I have grown up, if not painfully obvious, by my vernacular and overall energy and vibe. I grew up around white people my whole life, right? So I'm not uncomfortable being the only Black person, or being one of 2 or 3, Black or brown people in a room. But I thought by coming to AUP, a school that really boasts, we have all these 100+ nationalities, and more than half campus speaks 3 or more languages, I thought that would also translate into a racial dynamic and a racial breakdown, but it doesn't. So with that, they preach and, want us to be global citizens and say this is a place for that and this is a global explorer. There's a compass like on one of the big Combs building, one of the biggest buildings on, I think, yeah, the biggest building on campus, had like this huge compass on the ground, like all these things. They encourage that, but the racial breakdown is very slim to none. And just like with anything, can be just at times frustrating, isolating, and just overall kind of confusing. And that leads me perfectly into number 4, because the AUP bubble is real, child, so real. I was kind of given a heads up to this from Lauren. Hey girl, shouts to you. She graduated from the same degree I was looking into, global communications, and she just told me that staying in the 7th arrondissement, which is home to AUP, and staying within the English Anglophone bubble that AUP creates is hard to get out of. So just get out of it, burst out of the bubble as soon as you can, so that Paris and your point of view from living in the city isn't like embellied to like the Eiffel Tower and you're just speaking English all the time. I've met several people who have been in Paris for years, like I'm talking 3-4 plus years, and like their French is very limited because they just speak English all the time. They're around AUP people and AUP friends. So just keep that in mind. And then also, unfortunately, at times can translate into people's thinking here. Like I had a class last semester and it was about 25-30 of us, my biggest to date and probably throughout my whole program. And out of a class of 30 people or so, only 4 of us knew what Nollywood was. My professor just mentioned it in passing, and we were just like, you might not know what Nollywood is? You haven't seen those memes on Twitter? Like, so just things like that. The absent-minded, and there's a lack of racial diversity, and just people who look like me, black or brown faces. People have traveled around the world but don't unfortunately accept other cultures as I thought they would going to a school like AUP. Number 5 is the difficulty of taking classes outside of your major. So for me, as a global communication student at the master's level, graduate level, I was told, and it was like advertised as such, that I can take up to 8 credit hours outside of global comm. GC is like the marker for it, however they label it when you sign up for classes, right? And so I wanted to do that. I found a class that, to be honest, was taught by a Black woman. I was like, sign me up. And it was under the business umbrella of school, and it was brand management. I was like, oh, that'd be great. I took a brands and beliefs class my first semester from like a communications perspective. That'd be cool to pair it with brand management from a business perspective, right? Trying to, boss up a little bit, okay? And I literally so I spoke to my mentor advisor, Professor Hannah Wesley, and she was like, oh, that's great. Like, I'll reach out to Anna. She's no longer there. She's on maternity leave. So, someone in the graduate office, and, we'll get the things underway. So Anna emails me back and was like, hey, fill this out, fill that out, fill this out, and then have a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th backup choice for the said class. And I was just like, wait, are you serious right now? And like, she's like, you won't get first priority, and like the odds of you getting are slim to none. So it was just really disheartening and kind of frustrating. I just maybe I should have pressed on, but it was just overwhelmingly obvious and clear that like, one, just stick to what you know, even though they said we can branch out, and 2, like, it's just easier for us to just, for me to stick to my global communication. So that was kind of disheartening at times. Number 6, this is kind of a 2-part one. 1, significant class overlap, and 2, at times, limited class selection, at least for the graduate level again. So I'll start with the first part A, significant class overlap. Obviously, I'm in global communications. All my professors are, rooted in communications and media studies, semiotics, whatever. But there were several times my first semester where like they would say the same thing. Like, we talked about Edward Bernays and propaganda, and out of my 4 classes, 3 of them spoke about this. In one of my classes, it was taught by 3 different professors, and I guess they just didn't like communicate to each other this, but they all talked about the same two of the 3 talked about the same exact documentary, The Social Dilemma and the Great Hack, for us to watch. And we were just like, not only have we watched this already as a class, like it was our homework to watch those documentaries, we talked about this in the same class as your colleague. So that at times was really frustrating, and I was just in class like, I know we ain't sitting here talking about this again. That was really frustrating. Then part B to that is at times And again, this might be because of COVID or just the size of AUP and just, the range of professors that we have offered, etc. But the classes, when it comes to filling out a 16-hour full-time student schedule for a graduate student, I would always have, I've noticed this, my first semester and now, my first 3 classes, which average out to about 12 or 14 hours, easy, no problem, super quick to pick. And then the rest of those last 2 to 4 plus or minus hours take me forever to decide, because just nothing that really gets my interest, nothing's really exciting, nothing that excites me. And so that was at times can be frustrating, because I wish, and that's when I want to branch out to look at other classes, but I can't. So sometimes it feels like I have been settling a bit for classes, but then I end up enjoying them. Number 7, delayed feedback and or worst, nothing at all. So and I don't know, again, this might be a grad school thing. If you're in grad school right now, you don't go to AUP, hit me up in the comments, let me know. But I come from, from undergrad school where we had this thing called Canvas, where we would get grades right away. It would be, be a thing. I remember being at parties in undergrad and a grade comes out and everyone's like, oh my gosh, let's check together. Let's, hold and pray, take a shot, then we'll check our grades type thing. And here it was complete opposite. Again, this might be pandemic related, etc., whatever. But I had one class out of my 4 last semester where I didn't get a single grade back from my professor. I ended up getting an A in the end, which I was like, okay, that ain't no problem, whatever, I won't question it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it was just really frustrating at times to not get any feedback, or worse, just delayed feedback, where it's I've turned in 3+ assignments and I don't know what this professor is looking for or what they want. So that was really annoying at times too. And last but certainly not least, number 8, social life took a hit. Woo, let me tell you. Now this one I figured would happen, again with the pandemic, if I keep saying that, but I knew that was happening and it was going to happen. But just with the AUP bubble, right, me not being a part of it, and then being a grad student on top of that, and me no longer being the 18-year-old bright and bushy tail person I am or was back then, and now just being okay, I'm just here for school, I'll do my thing on the side type thing. And everyone else, most of my peers in the class are 26, 27, or perhaps older. So none of them are close to my age, being 22. So it was at times in the beginning, not so much now, I've got the flow for it, but in the beginning was just a real hit to just my social life. And I'm really glad for social media and just my phone and technology to contact friends and family back home, to just feel less alone and less isolated, on top of being remote, on top of things not being in person anymore. So just that was just something I did adjust to and get accustomed to and adjust and feel fine with. But now I found ways to meet people online and go to Facebook groups and do little outdoor meetups and stuff like that. But when I first got here, it was tough. That's all I got. Those are my 8 things that I wish if I had one wish I knew before going to AUP. Now I hope if you're watching this, it doesn't deter you from applying to AUP, or maybe accepting your accepting to come to AUP, accepting your acceptance, I guess that's a thing, to AUP. If I had the chance to do it all over again, I absolutely would. I really enjoyed the school. I love living in Paris. This school is a once in a lifetime opportunity, one in a life place, a unique place that can offer you so much. So hopefully it doesn't deter you from applying, but just things to keep in mind. No place is perfect. Paris isn't perfect, AUP isn't perfect, and the country of France is not perfect. So hopefully it just keeps you in mind. And again, this is just from my opinion, my perspective that I'm sharing with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and comment below if you agree with this, if you found similar experiences, or comment other video ideas too. I always read your comments and really enjoy and look forward to hearing what you guys have to think and just hearing your thoughts on the video. As always, I'm sending my love to wherever you are in the world where you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!